Maybe run in here instead of. Let's call the meeting to order. Yikes. We have a moment of silence. Thank you. Pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call our roll tonight. Mr. Williams is absent. I am present. Mr. Heater.
Present.
Mrs. Barnes Griffith, I believe, is on her way. En route. Okay. Mr. Irvin. Present. Mr. Lowe.
Present.
Mrs. Washburn. All right, we're back. Dr. Reynolds,
All right.
you're up.
All right. Thank you. We'll move quickly tonight. I know we started just a little late, but just to have a few celebrations I'd like to mention to everybody. First, our high school bands performed this weekend at Newcastle at the Indiana State School Music Association contest. We have a Group 2 and a Group 1 band, so those are the two highest divisions for our kids to perform in, and both received gold with distinction. So that means they performed at some of the highest level and received the highest award or rating in the sight reading division, which is part of how they do that. So very proud of those guys, and they were fantastic. Katie was there, and they were just wonderful. Keeping with Central, we had the Muncie Relays. I'm still trying to get the history, but I believe it's the oldest continuous track meet in Indiana, with 87 years, I believe, of hosting that event. I met George Taylor. Does anybody know, and everybody knows George Taylor?
George.
So George Taylor, he was also my middle school PE teacher.
He's a starter.
And he was the starter. That's right. I thought he was old when I was in middle school.
I hope he's not listening.
However, I think he was probably my age at that time. But he officiated 60 of the 87 Muncie Relays. I'm going to work with Andy. I want to write a story on him. He started working for the Muncie Community Schools in 1960, retired in 2002, and it was the starter. I have, with my boys, or when my youngest son's still running, I see him at all kinds of track meets, and he turns 90 next month. He is fantastic, sharp, does a wonderful job, and just walking up and down the track and doing all those pieces. But anyway, he was at the Muncie Relays on Saturday. The boys were racing that day, came in first. We had lots of individual champions, and the boys won the Muncie Relays. Just super proud of how hard they're working and the progress they're making as a team. The weather was fantastic, which was a whole lot better than last Saturday when the boys were at the Marion Relays, the ladies were at Delta, and it was miserable. But again, just a great opportunity to see our kids perform and do terrific. I got a letter from the Indiana State School Music Association yesterday recognizing the Northside Middle School Band and Choir for receiving the All Music Award. So the All Music Award is only given out when you participate in every middle school opportunity, solo ensemble, concert band, and jazz band festival for both organizations, and receive gold ratings at those events. So they did that, and they were honored with the All Music Award. So just a tremendous honor. I don't have the numbers of our middle schools and how many people get that award, but certainly proud of those students. And our esports team at Northside Middle School competed at the arena, the new facility there just off of 69 in Fishers. Is it Fishers, right? Is that technically Fishers? Fishers area. They competed there this weekend in the middle school state esports meet, participating in Marvel Rivals division, and they ended up winning the state championship. So I went over today and congratulated all those teachers at Northside. Just tremendous work, and have some fun plans for the students coming up. So just wanted to give them another shout out. And then lastly, I mentioned it last meeting, but our enrollment's open, so make sure you're encouraging your family and friends to get enrolled so we can be prepared for your student as they show up next year for the 26-27 school year. But that window's open, super easy to do online. Just a few minutes if you're new to the district, and even fewer minutes if you are a returning student. So just making sure those forms are up to date. But I think that is it for me.
Thank you. Questions? All right, moving right along. Mr. Graham?
Yeah, thanks, Dr. O'Neill, and thanks, board members, for giving me a second just to kind of highlight and go through some of our summer school opportunities this summer, just to keep you informed of what is going on. School doesn't stop May 22nd. It keeps on going pretty much all summer until we start again in August. So looking first at our elementary programs, we have our annual robotics camp at Southside. It's in our STEM room there, our Project Lead the Way room there at Southside. It's just a 1-week camp. We've hosted that traditionally over the last many years. I Read 2 is a second grade camp that was started last year under the state law that required second graders that did not pass I Read as a second grader. They get to take it again, and we're getting ready to do that here in May. But if they don't score on track, they're far below, or they're below where they should be as a second grader, they're required to attend or be offered to attend a summer school program. So we will have a week of that after school is out for our second graders. Our third graders are in the same boat. They actually have to take a third assessment in the summer, getting ready to take our second one in May. But our third graders will have their summer school out at Camp Adventure, doing something a little different with them this year. They will go out to Camp Adventure in the morning and have literacy instruction. And then the afternoon will be more of what we see in a traditional Camp Adventure summer school camp, where there's activities in them, trying to make that more of an event for them and not just a mandatory, you have to come and learn reading kind of skills for half a day and then go home. So looking to do something different with that group this year of third graders, and theirs will be a 2-week camp there in June. That's the traditional length of the third grade Camp Adventure. Fourth and fifth grade, we'll have a literacy camp for 2 weeks out at Camp Adventure. We've traditionally done that in July. We're going to move that to June and have an entire June camp out at Camp Adventure. That'll run basically the entire length of June. They'll do some literacy activities in the morning, but then also have some STEM activities and some different learning activities at Camp Adventure in the afternoon, where they fish and they bring in different speakers and different activities for them as well. And then finally, for our elementary program, I just met with our English learning teachers today as we're working on planning out. We're going to do a kickoff camp for them in July that kind of gets them ready to start the school year. That'll be a 3-week camp at Westview for our elementary kids. That's a half-day program there. Any questions on elementary programs?
Do we bus?
We do. We bus all of these students to all of these activities. So they sure do. So working with Matt and Auxilio and Transportation now on building those lists and getting that all ready, because it's a fairly quick turnaround for some of them, especially when you're looking at the I read kids, if they score well, then they drop off our list. If they don't, we will transport them to the summer activities. Middle school, we just have a few programs for them. We have a English Learners program in the afternoons at Westview. Again, kickoff in July. We're working on planning that today. So we have elementary in the morning for the English learners and the secondary students, middle school and high school in the afternoon. Middle school kids, at least going into 6th grade, can participate in robotics camp. So they'll be in there with some of the elementary kiddos. And then we have our orientation camps, our Panther Camp and Titan Orientation Camp, which is our incoming 6th graders, which get them ready. It's kind of a 1 week, half-day jump start at each of our middle schools, kind of gets them oriented to what middle school is like, and they do some different activities there. And you have several different elementary schools feeding into one middle school, so you get to meet and work with new students. So kids that they probably don't know from other elementary schools coming in to that middle school, they get to spend a week with them, and that's usually a very well attended camp as they get ready for that. Usually have even at Northside 100. Half of the elementary kiddos, and even at Southside, about half of the kids show up for that camp, that orientation camp. We've done those for many years now. So, and then finally, our high school has some traditional programs that we've had, and then some new programs. So, the new program is our freshman in-person summer school core course offerings. We've not had any in-person offerings for summer school for many, many years. So our freshmen that have not achieved their credits in their algebra, biology, English, and geography, history of the world, their social studies course, will have an opportunity to finish those credits in a month-long summer school. So live taught teachers from those areas will go in and teach and try to recover these credits for students that have not earned them either first semester or second semester. That's really a strategy that our partnership through Freshman Academy with the Center for High School Success has instituted in a way to keep our freshmen on track. Because if they are on track at the end of their freshman year, the chances, the research says, for them graduating is through the roof. So our graduation rates will, I think, greatly see a benefit of keeping all of our freshmen on track. And we're at some of our higher level of freshmen on track than we've had recently, I think, due to the Freshman Academy now. So this is a way to even capture even more students and keep them on track at the end of their freshman year. So pretty excited about that opportunity at Central this summer. We have our traditional online academy, which we've had to recover some credits for our older kids, maybe take a course that they can't fit into their schedule. Those are kind of online. They'll come in, but they'll do a lot of their instruction online through our credit recovery teachers. Do have our English learners at Westview in the afternoon with the middle school kids. And then Muncie Central also offers an orientation camp for incoming freshmen. Again, another very well-attended camp. They bring those in for a full-day event on August 3rd, about 6 hours. They do some different orientation activities for the incoming freshmen, just like we do our 6th graders at our middle school. Any questions on the high school programs? And then finally, we have lots of community partner programs in our buildings that use our buildings. We have the YMCA that will do a camp all summer long at Grissom and Northview. Believe the Northview one may be full. I think they still are spots at Grissom. Longfellow will host an MP3 program over the summer. The Boys and Girls Club hosts a program for all of our Muncie Community School students at East Washington. And then we just have a various other camps and different church offerings, math camps through Ball State, through different partners. We have just a variety of other camps that we promote out to our students on our website and in our principal Sunday messages, and just different ways to get those words out, to get our kids signed up for all those different activities over the summer.
And so you can go through and check these out online now. They're open, they're live. You can click on those. They're all interactive. You click on what interests you. You could then go down to the particular camp that interests you, and it will give you all the information you need to know to get enrolled or have additional information.
Do we send a flyer home with the kiddos the last day of school, informing the parents of this opportunity?
We have not sent, because there's so many, we usually send them a Parent Square notification.
It's in Parent Square.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll send.
Okay.
There are some
as
specific,
those flyers start to come in.
like the English learners, that's a specific flyer that'll go home because they need a little, that's the only group though, I think, that we send a specific flyer home. They need a little more visual assistance in signing up for camp than maybe the Parent Square and different things. So, and our EL teachers work directly with those families with that information. Any questions about our summer school offerings?
Very good.
Thank you.
Very helpful. All right. Area Career Center, Mr. Beasley.
Please.
I thought you were the bus driver. I think I saw you yesterday driving
yeah, we-
one of the Mack
Me and
vehicles.
Miss Ward wear many hats, don't we, Miss Ward? Yeah, sometimes it's bus driver. Yeah, we were busing, yesterday we had some kids go down to Ivy Tech for some certification testing. So, yeah, I got to get behind one of the mini buses and everyone made it there safely. So that was good. We were on time and it was a good day, so.
He was 10 and 2. I was like,
We were very careful.
hey.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Stopping at all the railroad tracks, opening the door, minding the rules, so. Thank you, and good evening. It's my pleasure to be here to represent the Muncie Area Career Center and give you a brief overview of what we're doing this year, what we're looking forward to next year. Obviously, this first slide, just a kind of a reminder that at the Career Center, we do have, two sides, two elements to our programming, career and tech ed for our high school juniors and seniors, and then also our adult education programming for our adult learners, focusing on high school equivalency, career certifications, and also ELL programming. Give you kind of a quick snapshot of where we are this year at the Career Center. So we do have 15 career pathways. We do have 10 of those pathways right now lead to certificates or technical certificates through Ivy Tech Community College. And so those are post-secondary credentials. So one of the things that we talk about sometimes is especially as we start talking about the new diploma seals, you'll hear us talking about credentials of value, post-secondary credentials like certificates, technical certificates, associate's degrees, of course, those types of things are considered credentials of value by the state. And so we try to make sure that wherever possible, our programming is aligned where students are able to earn those. They earn them by compiling stackable college credits. So in most cases, that's through dual credit, and in a number of our programs, it's through a combination of dual credit in the first year, where our instructors are providing the college credit, and then dual enrollment the second year, where the students are actually enrolled at classes at Ivy Tech most often, where they're earning college credit from those instructors. But this year, we do have 157 students who are actually eligible to participate in Ivy Tech's graduation ceremony on May 9th, so we're very excited about that. Those numbers have continued to move up each year as we've added, again, these dual enrollment opportunities for our students so that they can complete those college courses to attain CTs and TCs. Also, so all pathways right now do include the opportunity to earn at least 9 college credits. So in most cases, that's 3 college classes. And then also industry recognized certifications. So those industry recognized certifications. So for instance, for our testing the other day, for certified nursing assistant, AWS welding, those types of certs, those are also on the credentials of value list. So when we start talking again about those diploma seals and how we can help our students here in Muncie and the other high schools we serve to attain diploma seals, we're looking at both certificates and technical certificates, but also industry certifications where they typically have to pass a test or a series of tests to earn that credential.
And we have those opportunities in all of our programs. As you may know, work-based learning is becoming more and more of an emphasis here in Indiana. And so we have been working hard to create more internship opportunities for our students. So this year at the Career Center, we did have 172 of our students were completing internships with external partners. We have 73 employer partners offering those internships. Muncie Community Schools is actually a host of a number of our interns in different areas, including early childhood education. We've also had some maintenance in the HVAC and electrical areas, working with our folks here in the school system, which has been a great chance for our kids to get out there. But again, really trying to get our kids out in the real world more. That's been a traditional part of some of our programs, including dental careers, again, pre-nursing, things like that. But our goal is for every program to offer the opportunity for students to have extended work-based learning opportunities. And we're kind of chipping away at that each year by adding more and more options for students. And then we also have 112 students that are in what we call embedded internships. That would be our carpentry and our electrical program, where our students go out and build and wire a house each year. It's still an internship, but it is considered an embedded work-based learning experience.
Is it possible to get a list of those 73 local employers, so if we run into them, we can thank them for?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very good idea. And actually, yeah. Dr. Dr. Reynolds and I, Dr. Reynolds shared an idea that we were talking about recently for how to highlight those employer partners, because we do really appreciate it, because it is a process for them to engage in, right? And it's work on their end. And so we do want to make sure that we're recognizing and appreciating that through various ways. One was
Makes a difference.
Yeah, we've talked about even like a board up here out front, recognizing all our employer partners for the Career Center as well as for Muncie Central, and we would be all for that, absolutely. So enrollment trends, so this just shows you over since, I think, 2019, 2020, our enrollment, we continue to increase enrollment, which is great. Our sending high schools have continued to support our programming, and the counseling departments, the administrators at those high schools are continuing to encourage students to pursue career pathways through the Muncie Area Career Center. We do have, so right now for next year, we have 654 applicants. That number, we will lose some of those between now and when we start school in August, but we hope to not lose very many, and have been working on figuring out ways where we can serve those kids who want to come to the Career Center. And so a couple kind of.
Before you leave the numbers, is there such a thing as a capacity limitation? So you get
Well,
505.
yeah. So there is, yeah.
Okay.
And so, but we like to push that. We like to really push
Okay.
that.
Good.
And so the ways historically we've been able to do that over the last several years, dual enrollment has been a big help for us, where again, we're maybe the first year program is here at the Career Center, the second year is with Ivy Tech. And so working with them to provide those additional classes and those additional instructors. But I'll talk on the next slide too about a couple things that we're doing right now. One of the things that changed this year was early childhood. So early childhood used to be in-house here at the Career Center. This year, we actually transitioned that to a dual enrollment program through Ivy Tech. And it's also an apprenticeship. So the students in that program get opportunities to have paid work experiences. And so, but again, that takes them out of our building. Right, and this year, but I will say it doesn't take them out of Muncie Community Schools, because this year the classroom was actually housed at Southview Elementary. So Dr. Smitherman and her team have been fantastic hosting that group. It's been really great for our kids because they can have class there, but then they can also work right down the hall. They can go work in the preschool classrooms and the kindergarten classrooms while they're on site there. So again, that has worked really well. But that's an example of how we've tried to increase that capacity. Another kind of that first bullet point there, we talk about the carpentry and electrical programs. This year have built 2 houses. We were very fortunate to develop a partnership with Habitat for Humanity here in Muncie to build a house for them this year, and we hope to do that at least 2 more years with Habitat. So we have a private builder that we've built a house for, and then we also have Habitat. But again, that allows us to increase our capacity in carpentry and electrical because we have more work-based learning experiences for those kids to get out and work on. Another option for increasing capacity has to do with what we've done this year with ag, and I think we will do with other programs in the future. Our consortium of superintendents has been very supportive of this, and I think it's a great idea. We started with some agriculture pathways because high schools offer CTE programs, and Delta and Monroe Central specifically offer certain agriculture pathways that we don't offer, and we're really not in a position to just start an ag program, especially if we have, really good ag programs at the high schools. But then students from other high schools want to study ag, and historically it might be okay. Well, that means the Career Center is going to create an ag program, but instead of doing that, what we're trying to do now is to open up programs that are based at high schools, but open them up to all 12 of our sending schools. And so in that type of model, the MAC really serves as a facilitator for that enrollment, that application and enrollment process of getting kids, say, from a Yorktown connected to an opportunity at Monroe Central. And so this is our first year doing that, and we've done it again with the agriculture pathways that are shared here. And we did have not super large numbers, but we did have some students from high schools that don't have these options right now who are going to enroll in those next year at another high school. And so we're excited about that. Again, it's in line with our vision of making sure that students are able to pursue the things they're passionate about. And we think that this will also be a model for other pathways, for the Career Center to get involved in some other pathways that we're not in right now. That again, maybe Ascending High School or is already operating a program, a high quality program, but maybe they're not at capacity. Well, if we can find students from other high schools that want to participate in that program at the high school, then we can make that connection for the students and get them that opportunity. So we're excited to see how that evolves over the next few years, but that will be another way that we can increase our capacity to serve students. Also this year, one thing that we're gonna try specifically with our electrical program, we have our first year electrical program in-house over here. The second years are dual enrolled with Ivy Tech. The first year program, when we received applications this year, the morning session filled up really fast, the afternoon session filled up really fast, and then applications kept coming in for the afternoon session. Historically, what we would do in that instance is we would then say we would have to work with the high schools, and we would essentially wait list, deny, try to find second choices for those students who couldn't get into our program. But what we're trying this year is in partnership with the ABC Training Center in Daleville, which you may see when you drive by on I-69 there, which ABC has experience with operating high school CTE programs. And we've had multiple conversations with them over the years about just opportunities for collaboration, not this specific model. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up a class actually through the ABC Training Center. And so instead of denying half of those applicants for electrical next year, we're able to enroll those students into the ABC training program. So very similar to dual enrollment with Ivy Tech. They'll be MAC students, but their training will happen at the ABC Training Center in Daleville. And that program actually it'll be a bit different than ours. There's some things that we offer that program won't offer, but that program will actually be the first year of ABC's apprenticeship. So students who go through that will complete the first year of that apprenticeship track and be ready to go on if that's what they decide to do. So again, that's a new kind of method for us to try to again increase capacity and get kids connected to training opportunities. And then also HVAC. So we do dual enrollment HVAC with Ivy Tech, but we share seats with their adult learners, and so kind of limited capacity there. We had a lot of applications this year, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up a separate section of HVAC here in the afternoons at the Career Center, and be able to do that in partnership and in tandem with Ivy Tech. But it will create again more opportunities for kids who want to pursue that. So really, all of those things kind of on this slide just indirectly dealt with that capacity question. So yeah.
And I think I ask you this every year. Sorry, HVAC. Are you pushing now more direct digital analysis and controls and so forth? Are you just getting into basic HVAC?
I would say
design?
we're basic
Okay.
HVAC. Yeah.
And any desire you hear from anybody out there on electronics versus electrical?
Yeah, not so much now. Our industrial maintenance track,
Yeah.
they get into a little bit of
They do
that.
electronics, okay.
But not so. not at least like from the student side necessarily, you know.
They're very well-paying jobs.
Yeah. But that may be also, again, as we talk about programs and things like that to open up, whether it's here or through Ivy Tech or through another training provider, those are always conversations we're willing to have. And we also learn from different employer partners, things that they're doing, you know, and sometimes that's an opportunity for us to say, okay, well, we're not in that space and it doesn't really necessarily align with what we're doing right now, but that doesn't mean that we can't see if there's an option for us to build something there. Yeah. Oh, and just that picture there, we were fortunate enough, we received what's called a Perkins Reserve Grant this year. So we've been able to, our dental operatory equipment it had some age on it. And so we were able to replace our 2 dental operatories, and we actually added a 3rd dental operatory in the dental lab there. So we're really excited about that. We also added an intraoral scanner, which is just a more modern piece of equipment that the students are trained on. And so we're just really excited about that upgrade to the facility that we've been able to implement really in very short order. We got the grant in December and everything was installed over spring break. So we're really excited about that. Also just want to say briefly before I talk about adult education, you know, a couple weeks ago, going back to the employer partners, you know, we had dozens of employer partners here. We were all over this building. We were all over Ivy Tech doing mock interviews with our seniors. These employers conducted hundreds of interviews with our kids, did a fantastic job. I really have to shout out Ms. Ward for her help in organizing those employers and getting them here on that day. That was again, it's always a great experience for our seniors. It's always a chance for them to really highlight their skills and abilities as well as just their personalities and their individuality, and the employers enjoyed it as well. And also, too, just want to mention that this year, through our work-based learning coordinator, Dr. Long, we have completed one-on-one career discovery meetings with every single student that we have here at the Career Center. We'll have done that by the end of the year. And those conversations are really important for students who sometimes are not having the discussions that we think they should be having with family members or with their high school counselors and things like that. So kind of us taking time and setting that priority, encouraging especially our seniors to think seriously about what are you going to be doing after high school, and then how can we help get you connected with those people that you need to talk to make sure you're able to execute your next step is super important. And then, yeah, last slide. This is just a quick just snapshot of our adult education programs. Super proud of our adult education team. 2 years in a row, they were designated as a program of excellence by DWD. I mean, I don't want to get cocky. We really hope that we're going to get a 3rd year with that designation from DWD. You see, we offer programs in lots of different locations. You know, we're currently trying to work with some community partners that we think will actually help us have even a more accessible location and presence for our adult learners that we think will really help those folks just to access our classes, because access for those folks who are in adult education, oftentimes access and different barriers and things like that are the real issues we have to address. And we think we have some things that are in the works that will help us do that. And I'll share more on that once we kind of have things set, you know, in the more official manner. But we're really excited about the future of that program. So coming up next for the Career Center, so we do have our CTE Recognition and Signing Day event. That's on May 20th. So we do a session in the morning, we do a session in the afternoon where all of our students are recognized by their instructors for their achievements over the course of the year. And then we'll also have employer partners and post-secondary partners, colleges and universities there to do signing day with our students, you know, based on wherever they're intending to go next year. And then our adult education graduation will be at the Muncie Central High School Auditorium. That's going to be on Thursday, June 4th at 7 o'clock. And of course, we welcome everyone to come celebrate our adult graduates with us. So I think that's all I have, and I'll gladly answer any questions.
Comment and a question. Comment is, I count 285 students doing some sort of an internship, whether it's internal or external. Mm-hmm. That's more than 50% of your, and that's awesome. I think that is a great thing. Yeah. And then what percentage of students out of those 505 would you say are MCS students versus the other 11 schools?
Probably
Any
around
idea?
30%. yeah, it probably fluctuates between 25 to 30% are Muncie Central students.
MCS.
Yeah, right, yep,
Okay.
yep, yeah.
Okay.
So, and we're in some districts, like if you were to look at a Newcastle or an Anderson and their career centers, they're attached to their high schools. Now they serve other schools, but being
Sure.
attached to their high schools, their percentage is usually higher, but they also they don't have quite as many sending schools. So we have 12 sending high schools.
Right.
So I mean, we've got a lot of, kids coming in from these different places. So yeah, but Muncie Central's numbers, I will say, have increased in recent years.
Awesome.
I do want to shout out Mr. Walker and the counseling department over there. I think they've done a great job of talking to kids about the opportunities that are here for them, and the numbers show it. So.
That's awesome.
Transportation, so maybe a transportation for our students, are those opportunities there for them who don't have vehicles? Like, is there busing that happens from the school?
It's a good question, and we do sometimes run into that, especially for internship opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so the first thing we will try to do is we do try to place students. So when we're talking about, okay, where are you going to do your internship? Do you have a vehicle, or do you have someone who can give you a ride? We do try to place them, if they don't have their own vehicle, somewhere where it's nearby bus transportation, or even near home or near their high school, so that it is easier for them to make that. Yeah, but that is a challenge. I don't think that we've had anyone who hasn't been able to do an internship because of that. We typically do get it figured out. There have been times even when Auxilio has stepped up and has helped us out to transport a student maybe from the Career Center to an internship site on a designated schedule, which has been awesome. Typically we try and figure out a solution to that. We don't want that to stop anyone from doing what they're trying to do.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And just great stories that come out of the adult education graduation.
Yeah.
Who get a second chance, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And they figured it out.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about the year and about our graduation ceremony is we do have student speakers who tell their stories.
Tell their story.
And it's pretty powerful stuff. The challenges that they've encountered, the barriers they've overcome to achieve what they achieve. So we're always very excited about that.
Did you give us a number for what your adult education graduation number will be for this year?
So right now, I think we recognize our people who have completed a career certification class, and then also our HSE graduates. I want to say right now our HSE graduate number, I think we're at about 45 graduates for the year. I don't think that they'll all necessarily attend that night. And then I know we have, I want to say at least 130 people have completed career certifications. But I don't know who else RSVP on that
Right,
just
but
yet.
that's
So-
good numbers, yeah.
So,
Thank you.
That is great.
It's great.
Yep, so,
Yep, good stuff.
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, no public comments tonight. Moving on to our consent agenda there. Just as part of that, I just want to highlight a couple things with the retirements that we have. All of them have put in some time, but I do want to highlight Mrs. Brockman and also John Clark, who is retiring after 39 years. And so we want to say kudos to him and the time that he's put on him, and wish him well. All of them, of course, wish them well. Any other comments or questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. Mr. Jerome?
Thank you. In your board packets are brief monthly financial update for the month of March. That's obviously just the third month of the 12-month calendar year. So a few more months to go, but a few positive things to report. Still had a cash balance still over $39 million at the end of March. Slightly down from where we started the year, but that does include some $9 million of bond proceeds in there. We do have our enrollment. We finalized those numbers for February. That count was 4844. That's down 50 from the fall count. We will expect that to drive down our state basing grant revenue a little over $200,000 over the next, between now and the end of June. So we always continue to monitor that and watch that. That's how we receive our funding each month. Just some other Some other highlights, we just continue to work our way through our appropriations each month, so we're not in any danger yet of being close on appropriations yet. Those usually become issues in the fourth quarter if we need additional appropriations in the various funds where we are doing our spending. If that's the case, we'd come back to the school board during the budget time and say, it looks like we might be short. The reason we talk about appropriations, that's what our authority to spend has been granted to us by the Department of Local Government Finance. We never usually ask for any much more than what we think we have the revenue to support it or the balance to support it. So sometimes you get close on the appropriations. It just is better to have a little more authority granted to you. We had no debt payments in the month of March. Our big debt payments always come in June and December. So that pretty much wraps up the month of March. We'll talk a little bit more about the common school loan in just a bit. The next item, that graph there just continues to show, clear on the far right, that's a little over 39 million. It shows the red there on the bottom. That continues to show the payoff of the common school loan, the $12 million loan that was granted to us from the state of Indiana. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But basically, we're just continuing on, getting ready for the end of the school year. We have a lot of projects going on throughout the district. We're in the midst of our $19 million renovation, remodeling, improvement project at many of our school districts. The primary project, of course, heating and cooling system at the Muncie Fieldhouse. A lot of that work started immediately the week right after the basketball semi-state. Some of that basement area doesn't look like it used to in 1928 or like it did just a few weeks ago. Because what they're going to do, just to remind you, they'll create a new boiler building at ground level, just there on the north side of the field house. That way it'll be easier to access, easier to get the equipment for that heating, all the necessary heating, cooling equipment. So trying to look a few more years down the road for all the maintenance of that. So that project, like I said, really kicked off right after the semi-state, and the goal, of course, is to get that all finished up before heating and cooling season, about September, October of this next fall. And we also have many other, as part of that same project, but yet getting ready to kick off over the next few months. You're talking improvements to several roof projects in our district. This includes tennis courts redoing at Muncie Central, tennis court redoing at Muncie Southside, track also remodeling that at Muncie Southside, exterior doors at Muncie Central. We still had some vintage original doors at Muncie Central. These are now going to be replaced. A lot of floor covering issues will be dealt with at Muncie Central. And also, I can't forget Muncie Northside. Muncie Northside will have their boiler room renovated somewhat with new equipment there. And so that's a busy time. So it'll be a busy number of months for those projects. And you're never really done doing construction improvement projects. It never stops. So we'll continue to keep you updated each month on how this is going. And that's right. Right. Now, yeah, kind of like, yeah. We just don't put up orange cones and barrels, do we? But no, we're not really done. Yellow tape. There we go.
Thank you. Any questions?
Move
All right.
approval.
Yes, we do. Before we go next. Yeah.
So move.
Second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Same sign. All right, Mr. Jerome.
Okay. The next thing on the board agenda is something we really haven't had to talk about much in the last 8 years or so. I always talk about the common school loan, paying off the state loan. When we put that graph up, just like we did, we're paying off that original $12 million loan that we were given in 2019. It was granted to us by the state of Indiana and the Distressed Unit Appeals Board, clear back in 2018 is when it was signed. And we pay that off. We pay that off each month per their original agreement. And those payments started back in 2020, July of 2020. So almost out of the blue, the DUAB board approached us a number of months ago, wanting to talk to us more about how things were going at Muncie schools. And one of the things we talked about, just because we're always concerned about our cash flow and how to make things perhaps better. So that question was posed to them because originally the cash flow loan was set up for a payback of 8 years, even though the original statute was for 10. So we have made the request, that's what you have in front of you here tonight, that we'll ask the board to approve. So we then can take that to the State Board of DUAB on May 12th and what this is called is the petition to amend this original agreement. What we're asking for is to extend the payment term 2 years, from June 30th, 2028 to June 30, 2030. What that does for us is just stretches out the payment 2 additional years. And what that really means for us from a practical standpoint, it lowers that monthly payment of what we have to pay the state of Indiana. Instead of paying $222,000 a month right now, it would lower it starting in July to a little over $96,000 a month. So effectively, it saves us, reduces about $500,000, a little over $500,000 in 2026 for our cash flow in the education fund. And what that does for us the next year, for 12 full months, that's $1.1 million. It makes our cash flow better in the education fund. So up till about 2 months ago, we didn't think we had any opportunity at all to do this. So what you have in front of you is to ask the board permission to make this petition to amend this original agreement, which then we will take to the State of Indiana Board of Finance and the DUAB meeting, which we will present in person on May 12th. So if the board is so inclined to approve this petition to amend, that's really what this involves.
Do you foresee any hesitancy, or, I mean, it's hypothetical, right? I mean,
We've had,
we've been good stewards, we've
oh,
met all the.
absolutely.
Yeah,
We have
so-
done all those things, and that's why we've had several meetings with the DUAB. When I say DUAB board, it's really one person on the WebEx. And he was not part of the original DUAB process 8 years ago. This is about the second or third person to be there, and we almost had to remind him why we even were involved with this, because he didn't have any record of it. So we've been able to provide that history to him, and we've talked a lot about the ramifications of it, as well as he's very insightful. He is an attorney, he is a lawyer, so he has insight with that, and can't provide us any prediction or estimation of how that particular full board would react to this, as they're concerned about maybe setting precedent or what that may be. But they also know it's within the original statute of this original document that was approved that it was allowed to go 10 years. So no prediction yet, I guess, Natasha, how it may go. But they are going to make us do a formal presentation, and that's what is also included, I think, in your packet, is what we were going to present. And we were coached very well by the DUAB representative of what we should stick to the facts and stick to a very concise presentation, and not try to go too far off the rails. So, and
A couple things I'd add. One is to your question, I think, Natasha, if DUAB decides that they don't want to do this, it's okay. I think we have planned and projected that we can pay off the loan in the next 2 years. So I think that's something of note. Secondly, this is a non-interest loan, so extending the term 2 years does not increase our cost. That's a really important issue, I think, to all of us. It certainly, over the next 2 years, it provides some relief to our education fund, which helps ensure that we can transfer some money, hopefully, to our rainy day fund, which, as we've talked in this meeting before, could relieve some pressure on the operations fund. And probably as important as anything, it puts us in a position to be able to deal with SEA 1, the Senate Enrolled Act 1, that hits us much harder in 2029 by having some cash reserve, even though it will increase our payments. At the same time, we will see the full effect of the current SEA 1, but it puts us in a better position to be able to handle those increases. So I think those are important points, and certainly support and make a motion that we approve the petition to amend the original.
You got a second? Second. Seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries, thank you. All right, do we have any other dialogue on the board?
Just with that petition, so you two, Chuck and Brad,
And Jim.
and Jim.
Jim has volunteered to lead the presentation.
Oh, okay. Keep him concise. He knows what to do.
Yeah, so I guess really to Brad's point, we worked closely with Dan to give us an outline on how to approach it. I feel pretty good about it. We've been working with Andy, so he too has been trying to keep us on the rails for that presentation. And Jim has those items now that he's reviewing.
Thank you.
I just want to, hopefully I'm not out of line a little bit, want to make sure that we didn't overlook anybody. We have a young lady here that may be here. Did you need to say something? We got a couple of people that we've hired. I want to make sure I didn't overlook you if you're here because you got hired.
Are you a student? Are you a student in Snyder's class?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
welcome. We're glad you're here.
A future hire.
Future hire, that's right.
There we go. You know what it's gonna sound like now. All right. Anything else from anybody? Got a motion? So adjourned.
So moved.
Moved, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
You know.